interested in trying.
Hello, welcome to the Katy Sissine show. And we're back. We're continuing with the week of the whistleblowers from last week. So let's check out a little bit of last week in review. As you can see, we've got Snowden in the background today. Sorry, I'm a little bit in the way of you, Snowden. Doing a little interview as the NSA whistleblower that he was known to be, but also a patriot to many. So we talked about Snowden. And we were discussing, is Snowden a hero or is he a traitor? Well, that's debated by many. And I don't know if any of y'all know this out there. Well, first of all, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Katy Sissine show today. And anyway, so I don't know if any of y'all know out there, but Snowden was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for his whistleblowing. And Manning, who we also went over last week, who had leaked classified information before Snowden, and before all that came about, she was also nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize as well. And guess who was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize in 2016? Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize also. But Juan Manuel Santos, president of Colombia, actually won. So why do I think actually that Snowden and Manning were nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize? Well, to me, it's obvious because they had a contract to America as citizens before acquiring a government contract in their line of work. And they respected their contract to their country first and foremost, and their constitution first and foremost. And that's why people felt they were worthy of being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And same with Trump, who speaks out against fake news and such. Now, he didn't win like Barack Obama had won the Nobel Peace Prize, but is he deserving of it? Well, maybe one day, and he could be nominated again, very well so. Anyway, so we went over Snowden and Manning, both nominated for Nobel Peace Prizes. They both leaked classified information. Snowden was working for the NSA, and Manning was a soldier. He was a private, and now known as Chelsea Manning. And then we also discussed Andrew Breitbart. You may know him from the documentary Hating Breitbart that came out in 2012, shortly after his death. His peculiar timing of death, too. He is the late author of Righteous Indignation, referring to the righteous indignation felt by the Conservative Party in America. And he helped expose Acorn. He also recognized the credulity of the left. And the credulity of the left, meaning as in he recognized that there is this epidemic going on within the left where they talk and they get louder, but they're defending things without premises, without logical premises. So they have no reputable reasonings for what they say that they believe. And that's credulity. It's not reputable. O'Keefe, founder of the Project Veritas, supported by Mr. Breitbart and giving Mr. Breitbart a long legacy, upholding Breitbart's legacy, he's founded Project Veritas. It's a website that investigates fake news and things that necessitate a whistleblower and other news and such. You can check it out, Project Veritas. And we also discussed the Acorn investigation that he took on with Ms. Hannah Giles, who reached out to him. Ms. Hannah Giles reached out to James O'Keefe and admired some of his prior work, and they decided to do the Acorn investigation together, where they exposed illegal tax advice being given by an Acorn account specialist and housing specialist at the Acorn office in Baltimore, Maryland. Then they also went to the San Diego location of Acorn and had nearly the same results, putting on nearly the same act as a pimp and a prostitute. They received advice for their taxes, even though they were operating an illegal business and also planning to operate a brothel of underage Salvadorian girls. Why would a government organization like Acorn, given grants to do its work, to do good, be helping someone develop a brothel of underage girls? It's terrible, which is what led to the demise of Acorn in their bankruptcy. 15 of their 30 chapters closed when the news first broke, thanks to Andrew Breitbart, about O'Keefe and Giles' investigation of Acorn. It's absolutely atrocious what happened, and it didn't happen at just one location. It happened at various locations with different scenarios. And then we also talked about William or Bill Cooper, whatever you want to call him, the author of Behold the Pale Horse. And we can assume this is referring to the Trojan horse of Greek mythology, I suppose, that will allow for the NWO, what many presidents have referred to as the New World Order. And you can look up the New World Order and attach the New World Order to plus Bush in your Google search, or the New World Order plus Clinton, or the New World Order plus Soros, and you'll get results of these politicians talking about the New World Order. And they don't hide it. They say the New World Order. And actually, the Denver International Airport recognizes the New World Order. But if you look up the New World Order, there's nothing about it. It's not yet established, but for some reason, all these politicians are talking about it, but we don't really know exactly what they're talking about, but it's a New World Order. Anyway, let's move on into what we're talking about today. I also want to go over one thing more with Mr. Cooper before we get into Dmitry Itskov that we see right here, and his example of avatars that he's got for us right over there. Which is a whole nother story. Mr. Cooper, author of Behold the Pale Horse, which I highly recommend. It's a quick read. He believed in a secret society of elites, and the elites are the strength of that Trojan horse, or that pale horse, in the title, Behold a Pale Horse. So the elites embody this evil horse that overtakes society as we know it and makes way for a new world order. And Cooper's book, to most people, it's out there, but nonetheless, to those same people, it's been very informative and helpful. Of course, we're all going to have our different opinions on many different issues that are discussed, especially regarding conspiracies. But many points that William Cooper discusses, which I will get into in future episodes, are valid and they're factual and they cannot be denied, in addition to his opinions. So let's go over the last episode of the Whistleblowers interview, because there's just so much information. We could not compact the week of the Whistleblowers into 1 week. We had to extend it. There's just no way we could go over this last man in that one episode. There's just too much material. And that man that I'm talking about today is Dmitry Itskov. And we're going to be talking about Dmitry Itskov, transhumanism, and neo-humanity. Now, what's transhumanism? It's the transition from human to, well, not human, to an immortal version of a human. And this is going to be done, or it's said that it is going to be done, according to the 2045 initiative, through various procedures and steps that we'll go over. We'll go over the whole transition of this, and I'm going to explain the terminology. I've looked up all the terminology from the most reputable sites I could possibly look them up under, and we're going to go over all of it, so we're going to understand all of it by the end of this episode. Itskov, Dmitry Itskov, is the founder of New Media Stars. He's a Russian scientist. The Media Stars is an online media company, so he's got influence in the media. He is the founder of the 2045 initiative, aka the Avatar Project, founded in February of 2011. And the 2045 initiative, also known as the Avatar Project, aims to achieve cybernetic immortality, which means it aims to put one's consciousness in an artificial carrier by the year 2045, hence 2045.com, the 2045 initiative. And you will not believe who supports this. The current 14th Dalai Lama, can you believe this? It's ridiculous. The current 14th Dalai Lama supports this. Why would the current 14th Dalai Lama, His Holiness, support transhumanism, support immortal life? And let's point out a recent Twitter post by the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama said, at Dalai Lama, on his Twitter account on the 29th of November of this past year, 2016, he said, "We know that everyone who is born has to die, but the important thing is that while we are alive, we should make our lives meaningful." So why is there a picture right here of Mr. Dmitry Itskov and the Dalai Lama together looking pretty comfortable in a house and maybe after just discussing the Avatar project, why would he endorse this Avatar project? Why would he become friendly with the likes of Dmitry Itskov, who's playing God, essentially? He's stating in his Twitter post, everyone has to die, but yet he's supporting a movement that extends life. Now, if you believe in the soul, then you know that this is absolutely ludicrous. Anyway, let's move on. So the Global Future 2045, aka the GF2045 International Congress developed to discuss the future plans for the 2045 initiative to ensure its most efficient development. Now, the first Congress was in Moscow, February 2012, naturally, and the second was actually all the way in New York at the Lincoln Center in New York. So we went from Moscow to New York in only 1 year, from 2012 to 2013. And it's focused on what it calls 21st century civilization challenges. See, the 2045 movement and the transhumanist movement and all this stuff put forth by Dmitry Itskov, it claims that human life is in such turmoil that this is the only answer to save humanity, that we must support the transhumanist movement in order to ensure the survival of our species. This is what they're telling us. And remember, he has New Stars Media. What's it called? It's called New Media Stars. Dmitry Itskov owns that, which means he can influence the media. And he can make people believe everything is okay and well with the Avatar project if he so pleases, which is absolutely crazy, and it's sad. It's similar to what Soros and Clinton do with the media. So from Moscow to New York, fascinating, on our soil, in only 2 years after its initiation. So it's said at gf2045.org or .com that at the International Congress, a vision will be presented for the spiritual transformation of humanity, and new technologies will be demonstrated which are likely to form the basis of the sci-tech revolution. This is the most recent conference reported on gf2045.com to my knowledge. Now, stay tuned in, because when we get back, we're going to check out a very insightful select part of the last video we watched on Itskov last week. Remember, we are continuing the week of the whistleblowers because it was just too much for 1 week. We may have to have a second week of this. And Dmitry Itskov is no whistleblower, but this operation necessitates a whistleblower. So y'all help me out. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at KDFYNTV. I'll be right back with you. Thank you.
It's a new year. New you at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper. Ring in the new year with huge deals on a brand new Ford. Right now, get exceptional offers like 0% financing plus a $1,500 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford F-150 XLT. Or get 0% financing plus a $1,000 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford Explorer. Make your resolution a reality during the New Year, New You sales event at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper, home of the Schottenkirk Customer Guarantee. Visit us online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Ellijay.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hello, welcome back to the Katy Sissine Show. Thank you for staying tuned in. As you may or may not know, we are continuing the week of the whistleblowers. Behind us, or behind me, I should say, you're in front of me, so well, technically behind me on this magical green wall is Dmitry Itskov, the founder of the 2045 initiative. Very peculiar man. Now I want to rewatch a very insightful select part of the last video we watched on Itskov last week. Here we go.
Important because now we're facing the time where unconscious evolution period has almost finished, and we come to the new era when new period of controlled human evolution can happen. I think that main efforts of their scientists and main technological progress will be.
So, in this video, Itskov states the purpose of the GF2045, and he discusses it, and he says that we've come to a new era. And I've corrected his, language a little bit because there's a language barrier here. He says that we've come to a new era where a period of controlled human evolution can happen. And this is what Itskov wants to accomplish with the 2045 initiative, a new period of controlled human evolution. Now, how do we scientifically control a human being that is natural, that was created by nature? And many in this country, founded in this nation under God, believe that God created us as well. And God was a part of that nature. So how can Dmitry Itskov come out and say to people with respective religious beliefs who believe that we were created by God and by nature, how can he come out and say that we're coming to an era where we need to have controlled human evolution? It's very strange to me. I think Itskov wants to play God. And it's like a Hollywood movie. And then in the next episode, we're going to keep talking about this. I mean, there's so much to say about Itskov. We want to understand all of what he's trying to do with this movement. And in the next episode, we're going to go through step by step. I know I said we could get to it in this episode. We just can't. We're going to go through step by step how this is all going to happen. We're going to take a brief look at it at the end of this episode. So just stay tuned in. The next episode, we're going to go more in depth. So the 2045 initiative seeks to start this new era by transhumanism, where we will be Robo-sapiens, not Homo sapiens anymore, Robo-sapiens. But what about religion? As I said, how are religious people supposed to support this? I don't know about you, but I believe that I am a being of three entities. I have a body, a mind, and finally, and most importantly, I have a soul. Now, how do you duplicate a soul? I don't believe you can. Now, apparently Dmitry Itskov doesn't believe in the soul. Apparently, these transhumanists don't believe in a soul. They believe in a mind and a body. They don't believe that you got a soul. I believe that there's a soul, personally. And what about the law of the conservation of energy? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. I was discussing how crazy the 2045 initiative was with a religious chemistry major at my university, Kennesaw State University. And she brought up the conservation of energy. And she prefers to remain anonymous. And we were discussing it and, just bouncing ideas off each other. How can a scientist duplicate me? And by me, I mean my soul. Yes, they can take, they can duplicate my DNA and such, but what about the things that cannot be traced? Maybe they believe that it all can be traced chemically to the brain. That's what they think. They believe in the mind and the body. I don't. I believe in the mind and the body and the soul. In order to get behind Dmitry Itskov's 2045 initiative, one would have to believe that one has a mind and a body, but not a soul, in summary, because the soul cannot be detected like the consciousness of the mind in the physical body. That's what I believe. Unless you believe that the soul is composed of the mind, you can't logically support transhumanism. And you can actually create your own immortal avatar in advance on 2045.com, which is what we're going to go over at the closing of this episode right about now. If you go to 2045.com, if you're at your computer right now, go ahead and open up the page while you're listening to the show, and 2045.com, and click on the big red power button at the top right of the page. And this is what happens when you click the power button. Now you can first select your avatar. Here we have Avatar A, a robotic copy of the human body remotely controlled by a brain-computer interface, also known as a BCI, among other terms. You see it in the movie Surrogate and Avatar. The applications include the rehabilitation of paraplegics and other disabled persons, etc., business teletravel, so you no longer have to make business trips to meet with your partners. You can just send your surrogate self. It's supposedly the next best thing to being there. Cyber tourism. It's like a virtual reality game, except you're sending out yourself into the world while your physical real body, your natural body, is somewhere else, and maybe a cell, immobile, tied down with a virtual reality helmet over your face. I don't know. Then let's go to slide B. So this is the second slide you're going to see when you try to make your own avatar. Avatar B is the full body prosthesis, and Avatar A, or superior robotic body, to which one's head is transplanted at the end of the health span of one's biological body. So it's for basically the same purposes, and this is where we get into radical life extension, and this is where we are controlling, where the avatar is being controlled by the actual avatar. So there's no more physical body, that's natural physical body that's controlling the avatar from a distance. Now, what happens with my natural physical body when I become this avatar? I don't know. Let's check out the next slide, see. A completely non-biological brain and brain. This is rebrain. This is called rebrain. We'll discuss in next episode. In which one's consciousness is transferred at the end of the health span of one's biological body. Applications include unlimited life extension, non-aging young, so forever young. It's the fountain of youth. It's the answer to all your problems, apparently. Custom-made body featuring greater than human capabilities. Requires development of an artificial brain, procedure of the transfer of consciousness, or the gradual replacement of functional parts of one's brain, etc., etc. And so we've got one more slide we're going to show. Notices and disclaimers. Now, it gives you some warnings here. New technologies have to be developed. For some of them, a 100% guarantee of implementation within a specified time cannot be provided. So there's not a guarantee to this project, which is a bad sign. And by ordering your own personal avatar right now on 2045.com, you can speed up the process. Now, after you get past these slides, you're asked to supply your name, email address, your phone number maybe, and your street address in order to get things going in developing your personal avatar. Now, what do you think about this? I had a long argument about this with an exchange student that went to Kennesaw State. He was from South Korea, and he became a good friend of mine. I started tutoring him and helping him grade his papers in class, and I told him about the 2045 initiative. And this was last year in November. And I told him about the 2045 initiative, and we were friends, but we argued over the 2045 initiative. I mean, I yelled at this guy, and he yelled back at me because I was serious. I mean, he called himself Rick. His American name is Rick. So Rick literally believed that the 2045 initiative was an amazing plan. And Rick loves video games. He loves all things virtual reality. He thought, wow, this is great. We can live forever. And then I'm like, Rick, what about being a real human and believing in God and all these things that apparently he doesn't value, and actually growing up and procreation? So what's going to happen? We're just going to all be the same human beings, just living forever. There's not going to be any new kids. There's going to be no more births. There's going to be no more deaths. It's just going to be a world of all the same people that have been here and that are here when we just so happen to get access to this technology. And I also wonder about the dangers that this poses. I know there's so many dangers, and I want to point out one danger in specific, and that's the danger of a further stratification of society. Now, if we allow the government-funded 2045 initiative movement to grow and to prosper as people, if we support it and we allow it to happen, we are heading toward the danger zone, people, the danger zone. I mean, theoretically, they could just shut us off at any given moment because we would be a machine. And not only that, we would be tracked and our identity would be determined by our avatar or our microchip or whatever form of technology by that time they utilize to do so. Right now, it's from the avatar. Then the brain's going to be implanted in the avatar. And then we move on to permanent, our immortal carriers that are supposed to be human-like. And that's where we get into the real creepy stuff. That's where we get into the Westworld zone. I don't know, have you checked out Westworld on HBO? I highly recommend Westworld on HBO. It's a very insightful show. It's based on, I believe, one of George Orwell's novels. And it describes a world of robots that are human-like robots, which is the end result of Itskov's 2045 plan, is to get us all as immortal human-like looking robots. A perfect version, he claims, or they claim, of ourselves. A flawless version of yourself at your peak physically and at your peak mentally, always, 100% of the time. That's what they claim they can do for us. But if we do that, we are handing over our bodies and our minds, and most importantly, our souls, to who knows what. Now, what I think they're doing is they're trying to rob people of their bodies and their minds, because in my opinion, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, and the energy of my soul is going to go somewhere. But when my physical body is killed and no longer remains as it is right now, my soul is going to go somewhere else. So basically, my body and my consciousness are going to remain on this planet and controlled by someone that I don't even know. So let's just think about all this. We know how crazy it is, and it's very overwhelming, I understand, and we're going to go more in depth in the next episode tomorrow of the Katy Sissine Show. We're going to discuss the race for cybernetic immortality, which began as the Russia 2045 movement, the aim to create a new vector for civilization, this radical life extension that we've been talking about for the last couple episodes now on my show. I look forward to seeing you again. Please follow me at Katy, FYNTV, and email me at katy@fetchernews.com. Thank you so much.